Hello, lovelies. Welcome back to my channel. This week, I'm going to show you how I make insertion lace for this Gibson Girl inspired blouse. Next week, I will actually be showing you how I make this blouse, but this week I wanted to focus on how I stitch out the embroidery and kind of how I plan for projects like this, where I know I'm going to need a lot of embroidery, but I don't know exactly how much. For those of you new here, about a year ago, I decided that I was going to make all of my own clothes in order to fight fast fashion. This blouse is going to be a part of my summer wardrobe, and I really hope that I'm able to get a lot of use out of it and that it is something that I can wear even though it's hot and humid out. So I guess let's just get right into how I'm gonna make this lace. So the stabilizer that I am using for this is the Embellish Rinse Away Mesh. Stabilizer from the Embellish brand has a little sheet inside of it that helps you kind of know how to use it, what it's meant to be used for, and all of that jazz. I've used this stabilizer on a lot of projects. I love it. I think it's great. I'm also going to be using Floriani polyester embroidery thread. This thread is really strong and durable. I really like the sheen that it has. And I mean, I have really no bad things to say about it. I really like this thread. And I think the last detail that you need to know is that I have a Floriani Chrome 7511 embroidery needle inside of my sewing machine. I'm also going to be using organza, and I will explain this after we talk a little bit about the samples that I stitched out before I started filming. Okay, so here's what my soaking wet piece of like test for one of the designs turned out. Basically what I've discovered is this like design is just a little bit too delicate for stitching out directly on top of water soluble. So if this was like a denser, like a more dense design, water soluble would be perfect. But I don't know if you guys can see this here, but this is basically not, it didn't catch and stay on this here, and that's like not what I want. So I cannot stitch it out that way. I'll show you this other one that I made too. This is the other design. I purchased these designs online. If I can find the links to them, I will, but I've honestly had these in my embroidery files for at least a year now, so I'm not really, I'll try to find like where I got them. But this is the same thing. The design is just a little bit too delicate to stitch out on this stabilizer. I believe there is a heavyweight version of this, or like a thicker version of this, that would probably have worked, but this is what I have now, and I'm honestly not mad about the next sample that I'm about to show you. Obviously, not this one. Okay, so this sample here is just another design that's built into my machine that I did on just the water soluble. I know you can't tell from how this looks right here, but basically this is also falling apart. But this right here is stitched out on this organza with the water soluble in there as well. And this stitched out really well. Everything looks very strong and very connected. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stitch some more of this out before I actually cut all this out. And then we're gonna get this wet. Basically, yeah, then we're gonna go through the whole process. So this design here on organza is what we're going for. We're gonna stitch some of this out. We're gonna stitch this larger design out because I want to kind of combine the two, and I want this larger design to actually be the collar of this. So we are gonna stitch this out on organza, and I'm gonna show you exactly how to do that now. I did something so not intelligent. I don't know if you can see those markings there. I put my hoop down on top of the wet lace, and it has now seeped through. So basically I'm gonna just cut this guy out and start from scratch because I can't reuse this middle bit. Like this is gonna, the integrity of the stabilizer is, how do I describe this? Basically, this is weak, these areas, and if I put too much pressure here from the embroidery, it can pull that apart. And I just really don't want to waste more thread and basically time on something that might just fall apart. So don't be like me. Don't put your hoop with water-soluble stabilizer on a wet piece of lace. Lesson learned. Let's get into like figuring out the next step, okay? Cool. Awesome. So I pulled out the pattern, and basically what I'm doing now is deciding the placement of all of my pieces and how much I need to stitch out, all of my insertion lace. So I'm going to start with the larger design because I think there's only 2 places that I want to put that. And it's going to be at the center front of the yoke. So this is backwards, 6 inches. That's 1 strip. There it is. Okay, so this is the collar, and I know that I only need to go to this small size because I'm not flipping anything or like taking any of this in. It's just going to get sewn down onto the collar of this. Okay, about 16 inches for that larger one, which is great because that's basically about 2 of the design. The design is almost 8 inches. So if it's a little short, we can make it work. So I'm going to do the insertion lace on the sleeves and on the yoke. I'm going to do the tucks still though on the actual blouse. I know that I want to do at least like 2 strips go. Well, so this is how they have it here. So insertion lace, insertion lace, insertion lace. Do I want this many pieces? I don't think so. I think 1, 2, 3, 4, and then this middle one being a larger one will be really nice. So 4 strips. So that'll be 5 pieces of lace on the yoke. We'll do some pin tucks, and then I will have the actual collar be a lace piece as well. So now I need to, oh, and this is the pattern if you are at all interested. Now we need to measure the sleeve, and we're going to double this. Okay, so basically I think what we're going to be doing is we're going to stitch out the larger first. I'm going to do a 6-inch, which is basically just one of these, and then I'm gonna build one on top of the other to make a 16-inch, and then I'll do all the small ones. And the 8-inch this is just under 8, this is not quite 8 inches, this is close to 6 inches. So I'm gonna have to do one on top of another for each of these 8s, and then these 6s can all just be that. So I'll probably do these first. And then for 10, 12.2, and 11, I'm gonna do all of these, but as this on top of it. And I'll show you what that means once I hoop and set up my design and everything. So we have an idea of how much we need to stitch out. This is probably an entire day's worth of stitching, and it is almost 5 o'clock now. So I might do one now and then pick this up tomorrow. So yeah.
1 week later.
Now it's time to trim all of the threads, and then we're also going to trim down the fabric. I'm going to basically do this by cutting pretty close to the embroidery, but not too close, because we're going to clean it up with the heat tool in a little bit, like once we've already rinsed all of the water soluble stabilizer out. So now I'm going to soak each embroidery piece in warm water for a few minutes to break down the water-soluble stabilizer. Warm water I found just works best, so I prefer to use warm water, not hot water, and not cold water either. Then I will let these pieces dry on a towel in my studio overnight. Now it's time to finish cleaning up these pieces, and to do this I'm going to be using a hot knife, or this is actually the Heatcraft tool by R&K, and I use this in a few other videos basically because I used a polyester organza. Sorry, words are hard. I can burn the edges, and that's going to create a nice kind of little like seal on this so that the fabric doesn't fray or do anything unnecessary. And that's kind of why we cut it so close to the edge but left a little bit of space just so that I can zip around the edges. This does take a little bit of time, but again, the benefit of a heat knife versus just trimming it is that you are burning and sealing in these edges so they cannot fray. And that is how I made my insertion lace for my Gibson Girl Blouse. I did use 2 different color of thread. I will talk about that in next week's video. And if you would like to see next week's video, please subscribe to my channel, ring that bell, and if you would like to support the videos that I create on this channel, I do have a Patreon that you can go to help fund future projects, future videos, and thank you to everyone who is currently a patron. Until next week, happy sewing!